You want to do the introduction?
What's the introduction?
I'll just say, I usually say, hey everyone.
Oh,
John Michael here.
You're the pro.
Okay, ready? Hey everyone, John Michael here. Welcome to H2OMG. We're coming at you live from our new office. Yeah. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I'm sitting around a table in a very stuffy room with...
It's not that stuffy. It's warm for once.
There we go. The music just faded out. I'm here with Katie and Hilda. And
hello.
We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. We have an exciting couple of weeks coming up.
Yep.
And today we are in LA.
Not right now.
Not right now? Oh, okay.
I wish right now. But when this releases, we will be sitting in LA.
Right now,
we're in a stuffy office.
Yeah.
Just looking at the palms outside.
Yeah.
Right now we're in a stuffy office in Fort Worth. And it's really hot. I'm just trying to look at...
To Hilda and I, it's finally comfortable in our office.
I'm just trying to look at the weather. So the weather for Santa Monica right now, it's 64 degrees. So that sounds amazing.
Yeah, that does actually sound really nice.
Hopefully.
Not to Hilda.
That's cold to me.
And it's getting down into the 50s at night. So this is going to be great. But right now we're in Texas and it's business as usual. Mm-hmm. But in the future, where you're hearing us, future people, we're in Santa Monica at the Social Media Week conference, LA.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Hashtag SMWLA. And we're there learning about all kinds of stuff. It's mostly social media, as you can tell.
Social Media Week, learning about social media.
So that's where we are. Do you want to talk about any more about why we're there, why we're going? Why are we going all the way to California?
Because that's where they're having it.
Yeah, that's true.
But
that's the main reason.
But no, I mean, nowadays, obviously, social media is the easiest way to connect with people. And since we are the customer engagement group, social media should be the easiest way, but our platform is not growing as fast as we would like it. Because let's be honest, how many people were like, let's go home and follow a water utility? Not very many people.
Sorry, I can't come out Friday. I got to go home and follow the water utility. But
that leaves us a unique opportunity to, become pros at this, let's say, and try to figure out. So Social Media Week, it's not a utility conference, which is not typical. Those are the typical conferences that we go to, like water utilities or water districts. And so this is definitely out of our norm, which is going to be exciting because we need to start thinking out of the norm. We can't think like we normally do because social media isn't, geared towards utilities. It's geared towards the common everyday person in those businesses. So
we also have a lot of information that we need to get out to the public and do it in a fun, easy way where people are actually following us and doing what we recommend. I think it'll just improve everything that we do.
And we want people to interact with us on social media because that makes it fun for us. And we can learn what people are interested in.
So people should probably know a little bit about what our job actually is. Because I think anytime I say customer engagement, it sounds made up because it is kind of made up.
But it's the best term that we found.
It is, yeah. It is the best for what we're doing. So, do you kind of want to, Hilda? Do you want to explain what our job? Because you were here when you were here from the transition from public education to customer engagement.
Sure. So I've been with the water department for the last 11 years or so, and so it's been. I saw how change has come to us, and saw the need for it to occur. So back, and I'm sure everybody knows, several years ago, all we depended upon was brochures and flyers and posters, and that's really how we got information out. I know. And even though those are still effective in certain ways and with certain audiences, that's not the case completely with everybody. We found that millennials and earlier generations want to hear us, want to see us rather than having to read us. And so that's why one of the main reasons that we are learning about social media, we want to get that message in posters, in flyers, in social media, in podcasts, and everything else that comes around, because I mean, like I said before, this is information that everybody needs to know. And not just, we want people to contact us not just when they're having issues with water. We want them to learn about how to save water, how to manage their water usage, and in the midst of everything, save money. We're not here to make money. You know, we are part of government. We want to help people. We are part of the community. Most of our staff lives and enjoys Fort Worth. So it's not just our customers, it's our staff as well. So we want to be more fun. We want to be funner. We want to...
Wait, you're telling me a brochure is not fun?
Not too many.
Somebody opens a brochure and this is so much fun. Right? Yeah, you don't really hear that often.
I'm sorry I was late to work this morning. I was up late reading a brochure last night. So just real quick, we got a new soundboard. Every once in a while, I'm going to play little sounds that only me and you can hear, dear listener. Katie and Hilda can't hear them, so they'll just be between.
Not yet.
They'll hear it.
Building up our little podcast studio.
Yeah,
so.
I'm the only one with headphones right now. We still got to get more headphones. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we were talking about
our job.
And we were talking about the problems we were having with specifically our Spanish social media accounts, because maybe a lot of people don't know that we have a Spanish Twitter, we have a Spanish Facebook, alongside our English accounts. And so one of the big reasons that we decided to go to this conference is because they have several sessions on multilingual communications through social media. And so,
we want everybody to learn. We want everybody to follow us. I'm sure we have information for everybody.
Oh yeah.
That it's interesting to many people. And so we've seen several issues among the Spanish speakers that we want to, how would you say that? How to fix. We want them to know that potable water, tap water is safe to drink. My parents, I don't want to go too far. My parents, some of my brothers and sisters, they will not drink tap water because they have this background that tells them that tap water is no good. And I mean, to tell you the truth, Fort Worth has won Best National Water several times. Yeah. And so we do have safe, quality drinking water coming out of that tap. Mm-hmm. And we want that message to get around to everybody, not just Spanish speakers, but everybody. But we do identify them, or us, I'm part of them, that's an issue amongst us. And so we want to find, again, through social media, a way to communicate that message in a way that they understand and that they believe us. And so right now we're having an issue with having them follow us or like us on Facebook and Twitter. And we want to go to this conference to find new ways to encourage them to do that.
So we do a lot of communicating, right?
Yes.
So we're just a communications department, right?
No.
Well, what makes us different?
It pains my soul. And these two, John Michael and Hilda, they definitely know that is something that pains me because that's not my background. We talked about this a little bit in the first episode with John Michael and I, how my background is in the sciences, zoo wildlife biology, and then park and resource management. So my background is not communication, and that's not why I was hired onto this group either, to lead this team, because engagement is totally different than communications. Communications, traditionally, as it's seen, is a very one way. We have information and we tell people about it, and it's very one way. We do not want to be seen as that. We want to be seen as engagement, true engagement, two-way. We have a message, we talk to people about it, we talk with people about it. We don't talk at people. We want to be out in the community. Engaging. We're going to keep saying engaging, but that's literally why we're the customer engagement group, because we want to engage with people. So we want to have a bigger presence within the community so that we can get people's feedback. So I think besides that, my background is in science. I think that's my biggest pet peeve is whenever people are like, oh, send it to the communications group. No, we're not the communications group. Yes, some of our functions we have are communications, but that's just not what we do.
That's what everybody calls us.
Yeah, and it's painful every time. Every time. And every meeting, I'm like, customer engagement. Customer engagement. Now we'll be able to see who from the department listens to this podcast. Yeah. Because then we'll be able to pick up who is now like, customer engagement.
Yeah.
You know? Or I've just been harping on them for the past year enough that everybody is like, we gotta start calling her something different.
Well, I know Sandy's listening. Hi, Sandy.
Oh, hi, Sandy.
So, I think she calls us the right thing, though.
She normally but she was hired about the same time I was.
That's true.
She doesn't know any different.
That's true.
Because beforehand we were the public education, which is still a good realm of things, but people still call us the communications group.
And I was hired the day that the change went into effect. So everybody, nobody called us customer engagement. We would just say, oh, we used to be public ed, and they'd be like, oh, okay.
And I think too, it's just because it's so new. And the term itself, we really have never had. I don't think that anybody within the city has that.
Well, community engagement is not community engagement. Well, what were they before? They were something else before.
Yes, they were something else.
Yeah, they were something, and they recently switched over too. So so the whole engagement thing is definitely something that's newer. It's catching on, and it goes back, to what Hilda was saying, that the millennial group, the younger generations, and I think it's just like a whole culture shift in general, is people don't want to just be shoved information, and because of there's so much information at our fingertips right now, it's almost like information overload all the time, that if we're not engaging somehow, then it just is white noise. It flies right by, and people never hear about it.
Well, we had a question one time at one of our meetings where somebody asked why do we exist?
Why do we exist? Why are you here?
That was the gist of his question. So he wanted to know why we did anything that we did. Why did we do social media? Why did we do a podcast? So do you want to speak to that?
Because
people want to get involved.
Yeah, and I, whenever we're in the departments, or even when I'm outside of my work, and people ask, what do you do? I always say, it's customer engagement or public education. I say basically my job is to inspire people to care a little bit more about water than what they did the day before. And that is why we're here. We need to inspire, by engagement, people to care, to conserve, because it does save them money, and people forget that, but people also think about the here and now often, and so they tend to forget, if I just water my lawn every single day because I want the greenest grass in the neighborhood, they forget that that's not only going to affect them later on, but it's going to end up affecting their kids down the road. It's going to affect their neighbors across town. And so many people have, I shouldn't say so many people, because it really is starting to change, but there are still people out there that have the attitude that, who cares? But we care. There's a lot of people out there that do care about this. And there's a lot of people that just don't know, or they just like, I never looked at it that way. So that's our job, is to sort of help them to look through kind of a different lens, so that they understand something a little bit different than what they used to.
We haven't talked about why we like our jobs.
Oh, yeah.
There's
nothing. Why do we like our jobs? And it goes dead silent. So I guess I'll go first. So why do I like my job? So again, I have a science background. I come from conservation education background. If you want to know more about my background, I think I talked about it more in the first episode, right?
I think so.
A little bit more about it. Okay. So go listen to the first episode if you haven't yet. I have definitely a different background than most in the water department. But I like it because it's still that conservation education. And since I was a little kid, I've had this, just like something that's a part of me, passion that you can't really explain, to care about the world around me. And when I was a kid, I thought that if I told enough people, they would all care too. So I would constantly be telling people like useless animal facts, all kinds of things that nobody really needs to know.
And nobody was asking for it,
Nobody's asking. Yeah, nobody's asking. And basically now I'm getting paid to tell useless facts about why I care about the world. And I just can't let it go. I'm a storyteller by nature. I have a passion for the world around me, and whether that's through conversations, means of interpretation, at like let's say one of our plant tours or something like that. I have to try to inspire that next generation. I was inspired as a kid to care about the world around me, and I feel like I just have to pay it forward that way.
Okay, so why do I like my job? Well, I guess I do have to place a disclaimer there.
Wait, you don't like your job?
No, I do. But this is my opinion and only my opinion. It's not related to the water department. The reason I like what I do right now is that it gives me the opportunity to communicate with my community, the Spanish speakers. I feel that there's a huge disconnect between government entities or just any type of organization with them, and it's not the fault of the government or those organizations. It's just that we Hispanics are afraid to contact. If there's a police officer or anything with a badge, then we will not get close. And it's just, again, not because we are criminals or anything like that. It's just because we don't have that culture in us. We come from countries where we run away from police. And so we kind of carry that on wherever we go. And so this job gives me the opportunity to make that connection, to give them information that they possibly are not looking for, but that they need to have. I'm one of those kids that my father and my dad would take to the doctor's office, and I was very young, 7 years old, trying to, because they didn't know how to communicate in English, so they would take me thinking that I would do a good job of translating medical terms. I did my best, didn't I?
As little 8-year-old Hilda trying to explain medical conditions.
But that's what we have, and that's reality for many of us. They still take those kids to doctor's offices thinking that they're going to do a good job communicating medical terms, or to the attorney's office thinking that they're going to do a really good job. And sometimes they do, but most of the times we don't, because we know the English of an 8-year-old or a 7-year-old, not large technical terms. So I enjoy what I do. I like, again, to make that connection, or at least I hope that I'm making that connection. So this is just right for me.
So why do I like my job?
So sound so pumped up.
Oh, the cricket noises. Well, because I get to try weird things like this. I get to interview my 9-month-old on the podcast. And by the way,
that was really cute.
I got his age wrong, and like 5 minutes after I posted, my mother-in-law.
This is being recorded forever and ever.
Yeah, I know. Well, she's gonna listen.
He will grow to hear this.
I think I called him. I don't know if I called him a 9-month-old or a 10-month-old on the podcast.
I'm pretty sure you said 10.
Yeah, so that was.
I was trying to think. I was like, is he that old already? But
well, so a few minutes after I posted on Instagram, my mother-in-law wrote in and said he's 8.5 months old. So I was way off, but he still should have teeth by now. I think that's what everybody's telling me.
I mean, I told you though the other day that Luke, my son, he didn't have any teeth until like 9 months, and then bam,
all the teeth
of them came in.
Yeah,
it was like one. It was like 8 teeth all within like a handful of weeks or so.
Everybody's just different.
Why do they pop out differently. You'd think they would all come in at the same time. Because when
That's how painful that would be.
Yeah, it is.
That's like slowly pushing a bone through the tip of your finger. Dude, that's so painful. I'm glad I don't remember teething. Like, I'm just so painful.
all I'm saying is when he bites your finger, no matter where he's biting it in his mouth, it hurts now because you can feel it. You can feel him under there. Anyway, so that's why I like my job.
because you can talk about your teething baby.
And I get to go because of this, because of what we're doing now. I get to go to different departments in the city. I get to meet all kinds of nice people. I get to go even outside the city, like we did the baseball episode, and we did an episode on hockey. We've got an episode or a few episodes coming up in October about the Lake Worth Monster that are going to be a lot of fun. So yeah.
I was like, you better like your job because I just bought you all this podcasting crap. You better enjoy it.
Let everybody write in and let me know how you like these sound effects. It's laughter.
Oh, okay. It would be nice once we can have headphones and we're all clued in on what's going on. We're getting there. I'm hoping that it all comes in next week.
I'll just from now on, I'll press a button and then I'll act out what's happening.
Oh,
so you'll know.
Yeah. Okay, so what are we doing now?
You want to talk about difficulties?
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about Spanish communication. So then I think some of our other difficulties that we face, because we all like what we do, but it is tough because I said earlier, people don't run to go like the social media or seek out information on their local water utility unless something is wrong.
Something happens, yes.
Yes, and there's a lot of really good information that we put out there that saves you water. The irrigation audits that we do. That's a great opportunity. How many people around here have irrigation systems? The vast majority of people do. Mm-hmm. And we do these audits where we can come out and help you save money and nobody knows about it.
And it's free. It's totally free.
Yeah, it's free. It's completely free. And people just don't know that. Or we provide educational programs, career days. These are all free things that people just don't know that we do. And we keep trying to push out information, but it's hard because, again, it's falling into that white noise category. And so we have to try to find a very unique voice in a sea of information and say, hey, we're important, you guys need to listen to us, or hey, we're important, you guys need to read this. So we're constantly trying to find unique ways. And it's not... Yes, we have a little bit more of a struggle because we're a water utility, but this is a problem, again, among a lot of different groups that are just trying to find out a good way to push out information. There's a lot of people that don't care, but there are a lot of people who do, and we have a very passionate staff. Outside of just the three of us who do like what we're doing, we also, in our office, we have the conservation team. And it is their sole responsibility. They help us with a lot of their tasks as we help with them. But they focus on conservation programs like the Smart Flush program and some other ones, ICI, which is for commercial entities to help them conserve water. And we have some very passionate staff. So because we have a new mixers, new soundboard, whatever we're going to call this thing, we're going to call Jillian, one of our conservation specialist, and she is very passionate, so we're going to surprise call her.
Okay, let's get Jillian on the line.
John Michael Perkins.
Hi, Jillian. You're live again on the air.
Live?
You're live. We wanted.
Am I really?
Yeah. Yeah, you're being recorded.
Awesome.
So thank you for joining us.
You're very welcome.
So we wanted to ask you if you could just say real quick, why should people care about water?
Should people care about water? That's a really good question because nothing is possible without water.
Because nothing's...
Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do anything without water. That's why you should care.
That's good. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And
anything else?
no, I think the crowd loves it.
Love the crowd response. That's
All right.
great.
Thanks, Jillian.
No problem. Bye.
I think that is the shortest I have ever heard Jillian talk about the importance.
She must be doing something else.
Yeah. Yeah, she's walking around a lot out there. Yeah, it was weird with where you guys can't hear it, but
So what did she say?
What did she say?
well, she said that nothing is possible without water. So
And following up with what Julian just said, we are planning, we're doing strategic planning to follow just that, to make sure that people understand that nothing can happen without water. Again, we're trying to do this in a very fun and entertaining way so that it sticks with everybody.
Yeah, and this is a great opportunity. Like, we want to be able to hear from people. I guess in this sort of circumstance, because we're getting a lot of people listening to this podcast from all over. So this would just be kind of an interesting opportunity to not only hear from people within Fort Worth, but then other people, like things, just some of your feedback. Like, have you ever heard from your water department? Besides, hey, your bill is late or anything like that. Like, have you ever heard, did you like it? What did you like? What didn't you like? Or if you never have, what do you want to know? Like, what are some things, I know we've thrown that question out there before, but what are some things that you wish, if it is just all about saving money for you, that's fine. As long as you're conserving water, in the long run, and you're saving money too, that's fine with us. So what do you kind of want to hear from us? What are your thoughts? Are you one of those people that, are super passionate? Why? Or are you one of those people that are kind of like, what, I pay for this, I need to use it, and why?
And I think that it's wrong to assume that people aren't saving water right now. I think that, like you said, there's a lot of people that do care. And so if you want to share any ideas, any activities that you're doing to save water that maybe we just haven't thought about, that we can maybe piggyback, or just for the sake of letting others know how you are saving water at home, how you are making sure that we have water for future generations, please do share those with us. There's nothing wrong about just, commenting on in our comments area here, and just letting us know what you're doing at home, what you're doing at work, what you're doing in your company that may help others do the same.
yeah, leave us a comment or post on your own Facebook or Twitter and just tag us. And there's lots of ways to get a hold of us. Like we said earlier, we have an English and a Spanish Twitter and an English and a Spanish Facebook. And so you can find us on Facebook at Fort Worth Water or at Fort Worth Agua, and on Twitter at FW Water and FW Agua. And then we're on Instagram at Save FW Water. And we love to hear from people. So if you're listening to this and you don't follow us on social media, I'd also be interested to know how you found out about this podcast. So let me know that too.
Good.
I think so.
Good. Okay.
That's it. Thanks for stopping by your office.
Yeah.
Thanks for turning the heat
A
up.
very nice warm office that John Michael does not like.
Yeah.
And I guess we should get back to the beaches and
The
palms and AKA a super cold conference room in a big building, listening to other people sit and freeze and shiver as well, eating snacks and drinking bottled water, which we need to make sure we bring our water bottles to refill them, because that's going to be painful to watch all that bottled water. All those
they're going to give out a ton of it.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Yeah.
Carry your container.
Our tap water is great. Tap water.
Like you're trying to do like a little subliminal message there.
Oh, there was nothing subliminal about that.